Okay. Yo, what is good, everybody? It is the Godfather of VR, the ageless one of the man, Lincoln Clay, coming back at you with a live stream. And as you see in the back, my son is playing Pavlov by way of the Gunstock through GoQuest VR. And to be exact, Leaf, it is 8:48 here on the East Coast. So I'm only going to be on, I think I'm only going to be on about 20 minutes because the fight is about to start. Well, at least the opening of the undercards is about to start between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Undercards start at 9 o'clock. And so I want to be done, probably within the next half hour. I went back through my notes, and it turns out there is not as much VR news that I really wanted to cover that I thought, I think this week the only really big news is about HTC launching three more Vive type headsets, and I'm not really going to get into details about what each headset is. All I'm really going to talk about is what my initial reaction was once I learned that they were releasing three headsets. First thing that hit my head was if these three headsets don't work out, that might be it for them, because I don't know. Something that Anthony of VR365 said in one of his podcasts, where he said he doesn't even know if HTC is even going to be around in a few years, and that just stuck with me. So, and then Eric for President pointed out something in an HTC advertisement where they try to advertise a headset as a standalone headset, but they didn't do a very good job of hiding the wire, so it's actually a tethered headset, trying to make you believe that it's a standalone headset. So also want to take a quick moment to talk about the coronavirus. As you know, everybody's pulling out. He said, dang, it's 5:50. On the West Coast, yeah, it is. So with the coronavirus, everybody knows that the coronavirus has been slowing down production coming out of China. And we know that because of the coronavirus, Sony, Oculus, and who was it? Sony, PlayStation, and Sony, Facebook, and I forgot who else pulled out, but like several people have pulled out of PAX East due to the coronavirus. And hell, the developers of the game Gorn, they pulled out. They're not going because Sony's not going, and I guess they were planning to give away 400 pairs of socks, of Gorn socks, for the game. And yeah, you guys can probably still see my son in the back. He's playing Pavlov using the Gunstock, and he absolutely loves it. So I'm going to order another one tonight. So about the situation with the coronavirus, they're also talking about that it could delay the launch of both the Xbox Series X as well as the PS5. I find that to be bittersweet news because there's a part of me that wants to get my hands on the PS5 as soon as possible. Not so much because I'm ready to get my hands on some shiny new hardware, but just for the simple fact that I'm ready to be able to play some VR games the way they were meant to be played, the way I think Sony probably meant for them to be played. Because I truly believe we're going to get better looking VR games, more multiplayer games, more first-person shooter games, more sim racers. And I'm extremely looking forward to GT7, as rumor has it that it's supposed to have full VR support, which I also take that as that it's going to have VR multiplayer. So that's like the biggest reason why I'm looking forward to the launch of the PS5, because I can't wait to play GT7 in VR multiplayer with full VR support. So I can't wait, but at the same time, because of how much money I have spent lately, because I dropped a wad of money. The Xbox said the Xbox is out, so he said the Xbox coming out is too big. No, I'm a little lost on that one. If you're referring to Microsoft still going to PAX East, if that's what you mean, I mean, if they, to me, it really wouldn't matter. There's nothing on the Xbox side that interests me. So, but as I said, the delay would be bittersweet for me. I can't wait to get my hands on the PS5, but at the same time, as I said before, I spent a wad of money paying off my car, knocking out some other bills, and then I've got a huge, said too tall, and then I've got a few more things I have to deal with in a couple of months when it comes time. The console's too tall, yeah, and then I got to deal with some issues coming up when my birthday comes around and the place expires on both of my cars. That's going to be quite expensive, so I'm going to be dropping a lot of dough here, and so because of that part, a delay financially wouldn't be that bad of a move for me. So one moment, folks. Let me go grab my phone here for a second. Done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Well, I'll come back and play some more once I'm done with this stream.
Okay.
Okay. Let me check some stuff real quick. Basically, check my notes to see if there was anything else worth talking about. Check my Twitter post that I've made throughout the week. Let's see here. HTC. Gran Turismo's future 4K resolution isn't up, but 240 frames per second is the target. We all know what that's about. They're targeting 240 frames per second on Gran Turismo's basically for the VR, because I don't think there's a need to target 240 frames per second flat screen. 60 frames would be enough, but I think there has to be a minimum. There has to be a cutoff with the frame rate with, I think, VR headsets, because if it drops to a certain point, the average person will get motion sick. Let me see here. PS5 reveal timeline is comparable to the past, says Sony. I guess in an investors meeting, I guess someone revealed that the PlayStation Plus podcast. What is good? Ski?
What?
Bring me that gun stock. What's good with you, sick? I noticed that you've been on a low sick, other than your game stream, so yeah, this is the gun stock, sick. If you want to be able to play some first-person shooter games using your Oculus Rift, place the controls inside that cup right there. That cup right there allows you to hold it like this, so you get an accurate aim. Here you go. All right. So yeah, I guess to put it in simple terms about a release that's comparable to the timeline of the PS4, I guess go back, do some backtracking, do your own research, and it'll give you an idea of when we can start getting news about the PS5. What else we got? Only been on 13 minutes. Yeah, I'm going to have this wrapped up here in about 15 minutes, if not sooner. I talked about the patent earlier this week. I talked about the patent that Sony revealed. I don't know why it was such big news this week, because this is like the third or fourth patent that we've seen coming from Sony for controllers relative to the PlayStation VR. I don't know why this one was such a big deal. The only thing I have to say about this is that I would like to think that this is proof that Sony is definitely gonna invest even more into the PlayStation VR format, whereas those people, the naysayers, the toxic Xbots, tried to imply that Sony's gonna pull the plug on PlayStation VR because of one of their studios closed down. But this studio hadn't produced anything for them yet. I don't know why they didn't, and I don't know why Sony closed them down. But people took that as Sony is going broke. Sony's going to pull the plug on VR, and that that irritated me a little bit, because I'm like, if Sony's going to pull the plug on VR, why do they have Sony London, the developers of Blood and Truth? They're working on another game, and we still got Iron Man VR coming out, Sniper Elite for VR, and we've seen several of these patents. We've seen several patents for the controllers. We've seen patents for the headset that implies that it could have eye tracking. We've seen patents for the headset that implies that it might be wireless. We've seen patent that implies that you could probably wirelessly connect two headsets to one console, allowing for local multiplayer. All these patents relative to the PlayStation VR. If Sony was going to pull the plug on VR, why the hell would we be seeing all these patents? So that really got on my nerves. And I just said, these, it just irritated me. I try to stay away from this console war stuff, but that bothered me a little bit, that these Xbots are looking for a victory so bad that they try to spill their console war over to the VR format. And for the most part, I think us VR people, we are a very peaceful race. So I think they violated us by trying to imply that Sony was going to pull the plug on VR. So this latest patent coming from Sony, that is the only thing that patent mean to me, because it further solidified that Sony is going to continue to invest in VR. So hopefully they'll shut up and keep their console war shit over there and stay out of our backyard. So what else we got? It's the end of the road for Drive Club. I don't know. I mean, we know the end is near for Drive Club. I don't know. I guess there was an article that implies that the PS5 could be Sony's last gaming console ever. I doubt that. Now, I think there'll be a PlayStation 6. I don't know if there'll be anything beyond that. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a PS5 Pro. But a PlayStation 6, I don't know if we'll get anything beyond that, because of cloud-based gaming. I'm sure that's going to be a feature within the PS5, so it could be a console that Sony may support for 10 years. So by the time a PS6 comes around, I could very well be in a wheelchair. Who knows? But I don't think the PS5 is going to be Sony's last console. I just think it was some... I didn't read the article, but the way it was flowing around on Twitter, I'm led to believe it was some Xbox rhetoric, pretty much. So I think Sony's going to continue to invest in the PlayStation brand because it is their bread and butter. Let's see here. Oh yeah, and then there was a picture of Shohei Yoshida playing Dreams. So I've said that before. I don't know how people would feel about Dreams coming to PC. I don't know if it's ever going to come to PC. But if it did, I think you would see some amazing things in PC, because some people would have a lot more powerful hardware to work with. I think with Dreams on the PS4, as far as the flat screen part of Dreams, I think you're going to see some amazing stuff, because I do think the PS4 Pro has enough power for people to produce some amazing stuff. But I think the VR aspect of the PlayStation is very limited. You said what happened, Lincoln? As far as what, Sick? But I think when people make stuff on the VR part of Dreams, I think some people are going to make some pretty good stuff. I think it's going to be some very creative stuff and a lot of good material. But I think it's still going to be limited because of the hardware. So if we, get Dreams on PC, I don't know how people would feel about that, but I still think we would get some amazing stuff. And Dreams is one of the PlayStation games that I kind of wouldn't mind seeing going to PC, because I feel like Sony is using this game to scout talent anyway. So, and I think the PC format might be where you would see the best talent. So that's why I'm saying if Dreams were to go to PC, I think what you would see on PC would probably look a lot better than what you might see on the PlayStation. So let's see what else we got. I don't think any of PlayStation games are coming to PC. Well, definitely not day one. So I don't know. Truth be told, Dreams is really the only game that I've even said more than 2 words about coming to PC. I have no idea whether it's coming to PC or not, but because that was a hot subject, a few weeks ago about games possibly going to PC from PlayStation, I was just being honest in my belief that if Dreams did go to PC, I think you would see some amazing stuff there. I think they know the negative impact it would have on their platform. So, my initial reaction would be to see it remain exclusive to PlayStation. But Dreams is the only game that if it did go to PC, I wouldn't have that much of a problem with it, because I'd be really curious to see what people could do with it on PC. But anything else? I would prefer to see it remain on the PlayStation platform, but if Sony decides they want to go to PC routes, not a whole lot I can do. See here. As far as my notes goes, I don't have a whole lot of other stuff. But I think, after watching a couple of videos, I think we kind of got a timeline for when we could see Onward on the Oculus Quest. Mark my words, if they do bring the games to PC, it means they're done with the console market.
That's an animation, not an Evo.
I don't disagree with that. But I think they would be slick about it. I think they would slowly inch their way over there. I mean, because like Microsoft is blowing it up straight in your face and letting you know that cloud gaming is where we're headed. But here's here's something for you guys. Here's a console that looks like a PC, so you guys can have your very own exclusive Xbox PC named the Series X. But yes, we're making it clear that we're moving on to cloud gaming. xCloud is going to be the backbone of our gaming division. So I don't think Sony would blow it up in people's face like that. I think they would do it slowly. I think they would still continue to make people believe that their games are going to remain. Their games are going to exclusivity is going to remain the focal point with them. I think that's the way they would try to sell it to everybody. I don't care what they do at the end of the day, but I know if Sony goes that route, it's a wrap for them. I don't disagree, because one thing is for certain: if you put the PlayStation user base in a position where they feel like they don't have to buy a console, then yeah, that would seriously hurt them. They most certainly would not sell another 100 million consoles with the PS5 if they act like they're trying to go that route. So the situation with Onward coming to the Oculus Quest, I guess it's I guess they're getting ready to beta test it. It's in alpha right now. They're getting ready to beta test it, and then I guess they're expected to bring it to the Oculus store sometime at the end of Q1 at the earliest, or by the end of Q2 at the latest. So the way I'm going to chalk it up is we'll get it by the end of June. We'll get Onward. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Also, I think Five Nights at Freddy's. I think that's supposed to be coming pretty soon too, possibly next month. You said, ask yourself this question: what's the benefits of Sony putting their games on PC? Cold Yogurt, Carl, what's up? Yeah, I get where you're coming from with that question right there, Sick. Because again, if you put their user base in a position where they no longer need to purchase the console, that would put a serious dent in them. So I would probably say that they better be, if they go the PC route and put people in a position where they don't need to purchase the console, they better have 600 damn studios under their belt so they can continue to put out game after game after game to keep subscribers coming back to PlayStation Now. So, that's definitely for certain. I hope they don't try to go that Microsoft route and try to make cloud-based gaming the focal point, going the PC route. Because there is a lot of things I do like about the PlayStation brand, but if they do put me in a position where I don't need the console, I won't buy it. You said, hold on a second. I come to you right there, Sick. I see you right there. Cold Yogurt, I said, I think Sony wants PC guys to get a taste of Sony exclusives. I think at the moment, if they do it, it looks like they're going to do it with old games. Games that are like damn near dead. Sick, you said, look at yourself, Lincoln. 2 years ago, we couldn't pay you to get on PC. Now it's PC over everything. You are not. Hold on a second, because you got a little blurry on me. Let me change glasses. It says now it's PC over everything. You are not a one-off individual. There is more of you out there. Sick. Here's the thing, though.
Yes.
When it came to flat screen gaming, I had no interest whatsoever in getting a PC. It wasn't until I got over to the PlayStation VR and I started noticing what they were lacking. They were lacking first-person shooter games. All we got is Firewall. That's the only legitimate first-person shooter game over there. They're lacking racing sims. We know how GT Sport is. You can't race against anybody except one car, the PC.
Wait, what engine are you on?
They're lacking multiplayer games. And before Firewall came out,
Okay, I don't know.
first-person shooter games and racing sims were the two things that I absolutely wanted in VR.
Alright.
The racing thing was there with Drive Club, even though it was blurry as hell, but we hadn't got first-person shooter games yet. So I was starting to try to investigate different platforms to see what was out there, and Onward was ironically the first game that I found out about that was a first-person shooter VR game. So I started watching Onward videos and started seeing how interactive the game was, how immersive the game was. And it started making me curious about PC. So as time went on and I started finding out more information about the Oculus Rift, the HTC Vive, other headsets that was coming out, how there was a ton of first-person shooter games out there, ton of racing games, ton of multiplayer games in VR.
Wait, I want to
That's what started making me move in that direction of going the PC route. And I think with the PS5 sick, I think the PS5 is going to give a lot of PlayStation fans what they want and what they need, and they won't have to go over the PC. I think, because of the power of the PS5, and a lot of developers are going to be able to port their games from PC over to the PS5. I think we're going to start, over the years, we're going to get a ton of racing sims. We're going to get a ton of first-person shooters. We're going to get a ton of multiplayer games. And because of that, those that already have a PS5 and PSVR 2, along, they're going to have a ton of third-party games to play, along with Sony continuing to invest in amazing first-person games. So, in a nutshell, if the current PlayStation VR is what I think the PS5 is going to be, I might not have bought a PC. So, I bought a PC more as far as from a VR aspect of it. I bought a PC because of what PlayStation VR was lacking rather than what, PC VR offered. So, all the stuff that I was, talking about with PlayStation VR lacked. If they would have had all that stuff from the beginning, I can't say for certain if I would have bought a PC. Because, I don't play flat screen games on PC. But I will say that, my son, he plays a ton. Basically, he's PC. He don't really touch his Xbox anymore unless he wants to play Modern Warfare or Gears of War. Because he got Modern Warfare for Christmas. But I think if it was up to him, he would probably play it on PC. But he probably does about 90% of his gaming on PC. But one thing I will say about PC is that since introducing my son to PC gaming, I can count on one hand how many times he called me up and asked me for a microtransaction. A lot of the games that he plays has mods in it. So shit that Microsoft and EA and Activision would have charged you for, he can get that stuff for free through modded games on PC. So in that sense, PC gaming has saved me money in this, because I'm willing to bet you I spent well over $200 in microtransactions on Grand Theft Auto from my son calling me up asking me for shark cards. But now, I probably say about 75% of the gaming that he does is this game, VR Chat. And VR Chat has a lot of mini games within it. It has first-person shooter games in it, Beat Saber. He loves creating avatars. He's got over 75 avatars. Shit that EA would have charged, EA and Activision would have charged $25 a piece for with these ridiculous microtransactions that they come up with lately. So in that aspect, PC gaming has saved me. In my opinion, at least from the aspect of my son asking me for microtransactions, PC gaming has saved me some money. So the PC that I bought for my son is money well spent. His PC seems to be running great. He's not having any problems with it, and we are both definitely looking forward to Half-Life Alyx next month. That's gonna be a showstopper. That's going to be a system seller across the board, and I think The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners is going to do pretty good on the PlayStation VR when it hits the PlayStation VR, because I definitely think Saints and Sinners is going to knock Arizona Sunshine off the stool over on PlayStation VR, and I know Saints and Sinners is going to be a huge hit when it comes to the Quest, and I think Saints and Sinners is planned for Q3 of 2020. Uncompetitive, what is going on? What is up? Code Yogurt, if it wasn't for Half-Life hype, I wouldn't have been able to play Boneworks, The Walking Dead, and soon Half-Life. I think, 2020 is going to be the year of physics for VR. I don't know how much higher we can go as far as graphic goes, because Half-Life Alyx Half-Life Alyx could very well be the top of the mountain as far as graphics goes with VR games. That might be the game that's going to knock Lone Echo off the stool as far as I'm concerned. But 2020 I think is going to be the year of physics for VR games, and it started, in my opinion, with Boneworks. Boneworks is the game that introduced physics to VR, and now it looks like we're heading that direction where, you know, some of the quality games are focusing on physics. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is physics based, and it's pretty cool. I was playing it. I played it yesterday, and you know, I killed a few zombies, drove that knife in their head, and ended up breaking the knife after killing about five zombies. So it's a pretty cool game. It's a game that I'm gonna chip away at, and I think just for the simple fact that this game is based on a popular TV show when it hits the Quest, a lot of people are gonna try it out, and I think once word spreads about the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners on the Quest, I think it's gonna be another system seller. So I think the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, the first-person shooter games that's supposed to roll out with Onward, Pavlov, and Contractors, I think that's gonna introduce 2 new huge waves of VR adopters. Also, I guess Boneworks, I guess they're also working on some kind of some kind of Quest project. So I think some kind of Boneworks type game is going to come to the Quest at some point. So uncompetitive, I have heard that there are predators in VR chat, so I would recommend you tell your son to never arrange to meet with anyone in VR chat in the real world. I've already explained that to him. And not just in VR chat, just online gaming in period. There's some real nuts out there, and I've already explained that to them. Do not tell them your real name. Do not tell them where you live. Don't tell them anything. So yeah, I got my eye on that stuff on competitive. Thanks. So, the biggest thing that my son has been telling me about with VR chat is that there are hackers in the game. So what they'll do is somehow they're able to change the avatar that you have, and that avatar will cause your PC to crash every time you boot it. But my son, you know, Googled it, and he figured out how to fix it. So that seems to be the biggest issue right now, is hackers on VR chat. I'm sure the developers are aware of it, and I'd like to think they're going to take care of that problem. You know, good. I regret having to even bring that up. Yeah, I said something to my son about that, a couple of months ago. Andre 6K, what is good? So, it is 20 after 9. I'm going to get ready to wrap this up here in a few minutes so I can go watch the fights and see who comes out on top between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. There's only one Tyson Fury. I remember when he was in the ring and he did that to Wilder. When he was chasing after Wilder trying to get that fight, he came into the ring after one of Wilder's fights and started singing that wild-ass song. So I think it's going to be a good fight. A lot of people are talking about it. He said, even little peeps are strange there. Yeah, I think everyone should be vigilant about these. Absolutely. When I first introduced my son to online gaming, uncompetitive, when I gave my son his Xbox One for Christmas, because he was a Stone Cold Gears of War nut at the time, I gave him the Xbox One for Christmas, and I allowed him to play online, but I did not allow him to use a headset. Because I think he played on. I think he gamed online for about maybe 2 or 3 years before I allowed him to use a headset. So I've been monitoring that for quite a while. So I haven't ordered the second one yet. The second Gunstock yet, competitive. I ordered one, and I should have ordered two, but the fact of the matter is, I didn't know if I would like it. I didn't know if my son would like it, but we both love it. And so I'm going to order another one tonight. And I'm going to let him take his home, and but he absolutely enjoys it. I was watching him play Pavlov a couple hours ago, and he shot somebody from clear across the map and knocked him off of a building or something. which was crazy. It was like I figured, once he got that gun stock and he was able to steady that sniper rifle, he's getting more accurate kills. He's hitting people from further away with scope rifles. So yeah, definitely that gun stock was money well spent. And I've barely been talking about the link cable. That link cable is worth $28 too. So.
Yeah, did you know that I have my own turbo?
Yeah, but my son's playing VR chat as we speak right now. But like I said, I always got my eye on him when he's playing that. Even when he's not here, I still keep an eye on his friends list, and I still talk to him because he doesn't have a smartphone. I don't want him having a phone yet, and but I still talk to him through Steam. Messaging back and forth. Through Steam. Say, yeah, uncompetitive. You said you're making good use of that stock. Yes, it's cool. It's cool. It took some getting used to, but yeah, I definitely like it. I think I can turn this light off now. The only biggest reason why I had that light on was at the beginning of this podcast when my son was standing behind me playing Pavlov. I wanted to give him more light so he could, so he could get better tracking through the quest. So at this moment, I'm preferring to play Pavlov on the quest. As funny as that sounds, I prefer to play Pavlov on the quest. The competition is stiff. There isn't as many jerks, and there is not as much team killing. Said the way you talk about it makes me want to go back to flat games. Tap square to reload. No, you know Cold Yogurt. When you reload a game in these first-person shooter games, that's the fun part. How interactive it is. You said your toothbrush died, and you better get out there and get another one uncompetitive. I've said this a million times. You hold the gun up, hit the button to drop the clip out, reach on your belt right here, pop another clip in, pull the slide back, and start shooting. That's interactive. It's immersive, and it feels real. And you even have to be strategic about it too, because you can't do it out in the open. You got to take cover when you reload. So I think that, in fact, because of how that gun stock has, changed the dynamics of the way I play Pavlov. Oh, you said you're just kidding? I would prefer right now, I would probably prefer to play Pavlov over Firewall right now. Not to mention that the drifting on Firewall is still getting on my damn nerves. So, Firewall is still a great game. It's still one of my favorite games, but realistically speaking, there doesn't seem to be a rhyme or a reason as to why this aim controller is drifting on Firewall, aside from me thinking that there may be a compatibility issue between the PlayStation Pro, the camera, and the headset. And truth be told, I don't think that drifting issue is going to be eliminated until the PS5 comes. Nobody, a couple of videos have come out here and there. There isn't a surefire fix for the drifting. People just make suggestions. Don't turn the lights all the way off. Don't turn too many lights on. Don't shine a light directly into the camera's face. Make sure you got the camera at a certain angle where it can see both the headset and the aim controller. All kinds of shit. And none of these seem to be a surefire fix. So I've just come to the conclusion that this is a compatibility issue, because the drifting just does not happen on Firewall. It's happened on other games too. It's happened on Drive Club, and it's happened on Tetris Effect. And it wasn't with just the aim control. I was using the DualShock 4 on Tetris, and it was still drifting. So I assume again that's got to be a compatibility issue between the console, the headset, and the camera. And again, I don't think this is going to be resolved until the PS5 comes out. So just like Sony did with the PS3, I'm not going to lie. The only thing that the Xbox 360 had over the PS3 was party chat, and Sony was dead silent about the party chat thing. And we didn't get party chat until the PS4 came along. I thought it was a situation where it'd be a simple soft, some kind of patch where they would run some kind of update through, and boom, we get party chat. But it never happened. So, feeling like this is going to be the same thing. This drifting issue with Firewall and the other VR games out there is not going to get resolved until the PS5 comes out. Cold Yogurt, you said The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is a biatch to reload when zombies are swarming in. I have not reached that part on Saints and Sinners Cold Yogurt because you're wearing your watch and it's supposed to be synced with the bell. And I guess once that bell rings, that's when all the zombies come out. And I guess whenever that bell rings, you're supposed to get your ass inside, get inside somewhere, or you're going to get overrun by zombies. So I haven't gotten caught that yet. So so I'm at the point where I don't consider this a spoiler because it's still at the beginning of the game. I gotta fix a microphone, and I had to go into town to find what I needed to fix this microphone. And that's where I'm at. I don't know why this microphone, why I need to fix it, but it's in the journal. It's telling me that I gotta repair the radio, so I gotta go into town. Uncompetitive. It was reported that Gran Turismo 7 would be 240 frames per second. So you think this means it will support twin PSVR headsets at 120 hertz each? I don't know. Sick, you said, yeah, I bought my kids phones. It was a huge mistake. Yeah, truth be told, I really don't. My son will be 14 this year. And if it's up to me, I don't want him having a phone until he turns 16. When he turns 16, I plan on giving him a car. And I'm going to want him to have a phone so I can have access to him at all times. But right now, no, I don't want him having a phone. So hopefully that'll never be an issue that I'll end up getting into it with his mother about. Let's see here. Use a pillow for the fence. All right, non-competitive. I'm thinking PS5 could have the power and sockets to drive 2 headsets for co-op play. I think that's I have a flip phone that costs $50. Hey, I got this cheap ass LG Stylo 5 that I paid $179 for. I do not see any point in paying $800-900 for a phone when all I do is make phone calls, text, and surf the web to read a couple of articles. That's it. I don't do all this stupid stuff with these filters and taking selfies and putting dog ears and cute red reindeer noses and shit like that. I don't do that corny ass shit. I just do the bare minimum with a phone. So I don't see the need to spend a lot of money on phones. But at the same time, people would not understand how people like us spend a lot of money on video games. So it is what it is. And then as far as you said, you think a PS5 could have the power and sockets to drive 2 headsets for co-op play. That very well could be the case because Sony did. There was a patent that Sony filed that pretty much implied that the PS5 would have the ability to wirelessly connect 2 headsets simultaneously to one console, enabling local multiplayer. So it's very well possible. So you said there's something that a bit antisocial about VR being single player. So Sony may seek to make it more social than just the current social screen. See, VR is VR is not like as far as PlayStation VR goes. If you want to meet a lot of people, the only way you're really going to do it is through at the moment right now is through Rec Room, because of the PlayStation VR does not have a lot of multiplayer games. You know, Rec Room and Firewall probably be your best bet to meet other people and play online multiplayer with other people. But in the case of PC VR, there's a ton of shit out there. You know, there's Rec Room, VR Chat, Big Screen, Alt Space. You know, and along with a ton of multiplayer games that are out there. So, you know, then there's also forums out there too. You know, that talk about a lot of these single player games. Sick. Dual VR is a tall order even for PC. So with PC VR, I don't see that happening with PS5. I'll put it this way, Sick. Being that patent suggests that the two headsets would be connected wirelessly, if Sony is capable of pulling this off, I believe that technology is already going to be baked into the PS5. And I guess it's just a matter of whether Sony makes it active or not. But I get you. If they do something like that where you're able to wirelessly connect two VR headsets to one console, they will have pulled off something that I have never seen before. Cold Yogurt, you said unless they make them standalone headsets, that would work. I think Sony could make it work from the standpoint of, yes, they could connect the headsets. Yes, I think they can make that work. But how would it run? And what kind of guardian system would you implement to ensure that the two people in that same room don't run into each other? You said the PSVR 2 could be like the Oculus Quest? Be interesting to see if Sony goes that route. Mark my words, people are overestimating the power of these next-gen consoles. They will be very disappointed. Sick, all I really care about as far as PlayStation PS5 goes, as far as the VR aspect of it, Gran Turismo 7 is my biggest focus right now. All I care about is that game has full VR support. And I'm not talking one-on-one against the PC. I'm not talking these time trials where I'm the only one on the track, you know, trying to, you know, turn in great lap times. I'm talking about being able to race against a full grid of cars online or offline. We have that on PC right now. And that's one of the reasons why I play Project Cars so much, is because I can do that in Project Cars. I can race against a full grid of cars offline or online. But in the case of Project Cars 2, I do most of my racing offline because it's really hard to find an online race in VR in Project Cars 2 because of the way the matchmaking thing is kind of set up. You know, because whoever hosts the room, they can choose the class, they can choose what kind of license. What kind of license you need to get into that room, what level you need to be, all that kind of shit. So it's really tough to find multiplayer games in VR. I think when Gran Turismo 7 comes out, you're going to be able to find multiplayer races in VR, and I think it's going to be simple. I think it's just going to be a push of a button, and it'll take you into quick matches and that kind of shit. You can't do that with Project Cars. You know, you you see a room and like you don't know if the room might be private or they might got the criteria of the room might be so damn nitpicky that it's not worth it to even go in there. A race might already be in progress and it might be a 30-lap race and it just got started. All kinds of shit. So, yeah, you understand? Say cool. Said you could always play Beat Saber back to back. Whenever we do get the multiplayer for Beat Saber, I wonder what that's gonna be like. I wonder how they're gonna implement that. That's I'm really curious about that. Said sure these patents could come in with PS6. Possibly. Now, when or if we get a PS6, that I can't say whether Sony will still be supporting VR then, because a lot of it hinges on what happens with the PS5. There is no question that VR is growing. You guys know it now. You guys are seeing it. You guys are seeing the growth of VR. My big question is that, like, once the PS5 hits, as VR continues to grow, what direction, like, if it goes mainstream, which direction will the mainstream want to go? Because the PS5 and the Oculus Quest are going to be your two most affordable options, I believe. I believe the Quest is going to be your cheapest option, and I think that the PS5, along with whatever headset they might be selling, is going to be your second cheapest options. And the PC route is always going to remain the most expensive route, because you could easily, as we all know, you could easily spend somewhere between $2,000-$3,000 for a really good PC, and then you got those Pimax headsets that I think cost about $2,000. So you could easily, spend $4,000 on VR, for a PC and a headset. So, what's up, Dragon? Blue the Dragon. You said Beat Saber would simply be score attack. I think they might do it the same way they did with Guitar Hero, with the local player of Guitar Hero. No, actually, they did that online, where you have a split screen and you're on one side and your opponent is on the other side. I can see them doing it like that. Uncompetitive. I think Sony has pretty much hit the limit for TVs. I don't see too much of a market for 8K, and none at all for 16K. I can't argue with that. Under the current climate, they make it so these consoles can upscale to 8K or whatever case may be. If they don't provide the content, whether it be through games or experiences or something like that, we might not see it. In the current climate right now, it's like there's not too many 4K options out there. And we all know that a native 4K is better than streaming 4K. You said the coronavirus is dampening things. Yeah, definitely. Uncompetitive, yet you can keep increasing the resolution of a panel and then use that OLED in the headset. So I actually wonder if the 4K push was just a Trojan horse to fund high fidelity VR. Could be, because when the PlayStation Pro came out, Sony tried to sell it as, you being able to take advantage of your 4K TV. When, behind the scenes, I had heard that the reason why they came out with the Pro was because the PlayStation VR ran like dog shit on the standard PS4. So, I mean, there may be some legitimacy to what you're saying, Uncompetitive. JD Max is streaming iRacing. I have to catch a little bit of that before I check out the fight. You using the gun stock?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now my son's playing Pavlov on PC. He absolutely loves that Minecraft map. So yeah, Cold Yogurt PC has crisp graphics, but still no interest to play them. I only want VR resolution. Well, at the moment, PC is going to be your best bet to get that, to get the best resolution. You know, as far as VR goes, you're going to get the best resolution out of PC. In this current climate, no question about it. Even when the PS5 hits, for as much power as I think the PS5 is going to I think you're going to get resolution and graphics and all that kind of stuff that's within the ballpark of a PC, but I still think PC is still going to have, you know, the better resolution and graphics and all that kind of stuff. But I think the PS5 will have enough power that we won't have to ask developers, do they plan to release a PlayStation version? Because like when a game comes out on PC and the game does pretty good, the first thing comes out of people's mouth is there going to be a PlayStation VR version of the game? And you know, the answers are varied. Some say we'll look into it. Some say we have no plans to do it. But I think the ones that say they have no plans to do it, I think they have no plans to do it or because of the limitations. And I think that's been the situation with Cyberpunk. I think they're not putting anything out on PlayStation VR. I don't think it so much has to do with the market as they're saying. I think it might be more to do with the limitations of the hardware, and they may not be able to put out the kind of product that they would want to put out. Because I've been very honest in saying that, you know, graphics on the current PSVR are a generation behind. You know, a lot of the games on the current PlayStation VR look like games that you would see on the PlayStation 3. You know, there's games like Half-Life Alyx that are giving us current gen graphics in VR. So you said you heard that too. PSVR is so much better on the Pro. And the thing about it was I bought the Pro with the intentions of being able to play flat screen games in 4K because actually both the PlayStation VR and the PlayStation Pro, I bought them both day one. But I bought my 4K TV like 2 months before the Pro came out. So when the Pro would finally come out, I wouldn't have to drop a bunch of money at once buying both the TV and the console at the same time. You said PC will always have better hardware. I completely agree, Sick. 100%. But I think the biggest, you know, another reason why I'm looking forward to the PS5 is, again, that I was saying that because of the power that I think the PS5 is going to have, I think, you know, when developers come out with games, they're going to be able to release them on PC and the PlayStation VR at the same time. And if the PSVR on the PS5 has enough power, you know, hopefully, you know, we'll have situations where we'll have more crossplay because, like, as of right now, the only games out there where you have crossplay between PC, PlayStation VR, and Quest is games that don't require you to move around, that don't require a lot of movement. Example would be Star Trek Bridge Crew. That game is crossplay between the Quest, PC, and PlayStation VR. Let me see. Space Junkies is crossplay between PlayStation VR and PC. But other than that, games that require you to do some moving around, there's not too many of them that's crossplay between PC and PlayStation VR. So when the PS5 comes out, I think we're gonna, because of the power that the PS5 is gonna have, it's gonna allow for more crossplay, and I think that's gonna help the VR community grow. Because there's games like, you know, with Sony coming out with different controllers that would presumably have thumbsticks. You know, I think like Pavlov arguably is the most popular first-person shooter game on PC right now. When the PS5 comes out, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Pavlov show up on the PS5 with crossplay, and that's going to make that player base grow, and it's going to make VR grow as a whole. Uncompetitive. I think PS5 is largely focused on improving frame rate, which would be great, like PS4 Pro, improved resolution. I don't expect vastly greater resolution on PS5 as well as frame rate. PS5 can still checkerboard. One Stop for Gaming, in my opinion, he was the first one that I heard say this when he was talking about what Microsoft would do next. Because we know the situation with the Xbox One X, where the frame rate is absolute dog shit with that console, and One Stop for Gamers was saying that when the next console comes along, they have to focus on frame rate because they got nowhere else to go. He was like, they can't jump up to 8K because nobody's gonna have 8K TVs. So he was like, there's nowhere else they can go except improve the frame rate. So truth be told, I kind of felt the same way about, Sony in that situation. The PlayStation Pro has, for the most part, has better frame rate than the Xbox One X, but with PC gamers, they have definitely, the frame rate is definitely more important with them. Hell, the frame rate is more important with my son now, and I never thought I'd hear that. As much 4K stuff he was yapping at me, I bought the Xbox One X, bought him, a quality TV with the supports HDR10 and all that good shit. And now frame rate is the most important part to him now. So, and I think that with a lot of games, hopefully a lot of these games, whether it's checkerboarded or native 4K, with a lot of these games being able to hit 60 frames per second on the PS5, I think a lot of people are going to be happy with the performance of these games. Sick. However, games are being developed for consoles and then ported to PC, so we will only see progression in graphics when the consoles progress. When consoles progress in graphics. You said it's odd, but I have noticed that. Yeah. So, yeah, you're absolutely right, because let's be honest, a lot of the better games are on console. And honestly speaking, I think a lot of the PC people want some of these console games because it will probably, in all likelihood, look and run better on PC. But I don't know, as far as other than the PS5, here's what I got planned for as far as headsets goes. Naturally, when PSVR 2 comes out, I'm going to buy that headset. I'm also thinking of getting a Samsung Odyssey, because I think the resolution on a Samsung Odyssey Plus might be 1600 or 1800, which is better than the 1440p on the Rift S. So I want to get another headset with a higher resolution for the sim racers on PC. So actually, I want to take a quick look and get some Samsung Odyssey Plus prices, because I've heard that those things are going as cheap as $250. And I believe that's crazy. $500 at Best Buy, but I see one here for $246 on eBay. Damn, it's warm. Give me a second. Let me turn this shit on. Yeah, let me get some information on the Samsung Odyssey Plus. If you're talking about the Samsung Odyssey Plus being sold out, I really don't know. Hold on, let me come back to the resolution on this. That's what I really want. Samsung Odyssey Plus. Yup, it's 1600. Even the HP Reverb, I think the resolution on that, I think is 4K. But that's $700, and it's mainly for enterprise use. HP Reverb resolution. Yep, 2160 by 2160 is 4K. And how much is it? Hold on, whoa. I just saw something. An HP Reverb. Oh no, somebody pre-owned. Found a pre-owned HP Reverb for $329, but it's $640 brand new. Shit. Maybe that's the route I'll go. And get that 4K resolution for the. Let me see what the refresh rate is. HP Reverb refresh rate is 90 hertz versus the 80 that I'm getting out of the Rift S. Okay. Now I'm starting to get a runny nose, so excuse me, folks. So, but yeah, as far as, the only thing is for certain as far as hardware goes over the next year or two, the only thing for certain is that I'm going to buy a PS5 and I'm going to get the PSVR 2, whatever that may be, because I'm confident in Sony that they're going to get this controller thing right and do away with those Move controllers. So that's the only thing that's a certainty in the next year or two that I plan on getting. So, but hey, I'm cool with what I got right now. Everything's all good in the hood. So I'm gonna get ready to wrap it up. But before I get on out of here, I just want to say the sick humor. I know you've been quiet lately, but I'm always looking forward to you putting out content, man. So, so that's where I'll leave that. I really don't know what the situation is, but that's where I'll leave it. Cold Yogurt. I heard the controllers aren't that good though. For the HP Reverb, I don't want it for the controllers because, you mean the Samsung Odyssey or the HP Reverb? Both of those headsets are mixed reality headsets. Well, I know, yeah, I believe they're mixed reality headsets, and they only have 2 cameras. So the tracking is probably going to be suspect on both of those headsets. The only reason why I want those headsets is for sim racing, which it won't require the use of either of those controllers because I already have a racing wheel. I only want those headsets strictly for the display. I wouldn't mind getting my hands on that HP Reverb strictly to be able to race in 4K 90 hertz because I know that picture would be crystal clear, no blur whatsoever in the background. So in that aspect, yeah, I could possibly look into getting a used Reverb. So, but that wouldn't happen until later this year or probably, maybe sometime next year because in the meantime, I'm more than happy with the Oculus Rift S. It is crystal clear. The 80 hertz refresh rate down from 90 doesn't seem to really make a difference. And that 1440 resolution is crystal clear. Even though It doesn't sound like that big of a jump from the 1200 resolution of the CV1, but you can see it. You'll notice a difference with your own eyes. You'll see the difference with the naked eye. You know, and there won't be a situation where you got to keep going like this. You will instantly notice a difference. Is he carrying a shield?
Yeah, he has a shield.
And Pavlov?
Yep.
And a sword?
Yeah, yes. Hey, can you hear me? Oh. Okay, well, I just want to say nice shield.
Yeah. Okay,
Actually,
okay, uncompetitive. You're talking to Cold Yogurt. Do you think the coronavirus is a risk to those trying to get out VR headsets in stores? They get used by a lot of customers.
It does deflect
That's
bullets.
interesting.
It does deflect bullets. It actually does.
But I think that's going to do it for me. It's about 10 o'clock. I would like to think there's probably going to be a couple of more undercard fights before we get to the main event. So with that being said, I'm going to go grab a drink here. Diet Coke or Gatorade Zero or even water. And stretch out on the bed, jump on the fire stick, and get ready to watch the fight. Spartan God, man, you super late, Spartan God. I'm about to wrap this up. You walking in just as I'm closing shop. As you can see, I've been on here about an hour and 15 minutes, and I only meant to be on here about a half an hour. But hey, as usual, you guys made this podcast go. You know, you guys kept it going with the conversation, and I always love it. So shout out to all of you guys. You know, that's right, Cold Yogurt, Wakanda forever. Yeah. Man, I don't know what's going on, Spartan God. Man, you be late. But I definitely gotta say, Spartan God, I definitely appreciate your support because even if you're coming in late, I see you popping in just about all my podcasts. So thank you, my brother. I really appreciate the support. So that's going to do it for me, folks. I'm going to go ahead and boogie on out of here. I said I was going to do the Pavlov thing with my son. You guys saw him playing Pavlov on the Quest at the beginning, so you guys got an idea of how he was using the gun stock. And I think tomorrow morning we're going to get up and go to Dave & Buster's. We were going to do it tonight, but we're going to wait until the morning because I want to stay home and catch this fight. So we're going to get up and go to Dave & Buster's in the morning. Ironically, to play some VR, even though we have VR here, we're going to Dave & Buster's and I'm going to go check out what they got in VR over there. Ain't that crazy? Spartan God, welcome. I like the channel. I appreciate it, my guy. I really do.
That one guy that had the shield, it actually deflects bullets.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's neat. So I think when the PS5 hits, if Pavlov comes to the PS5, it's going to be a big hit because there's no question in my mind that Pavlov's going to be a big hit on the Quest. So, all right, folks, I'm going to boogie on out of here. I know I said this 86 times, but I can't get enough of chatting with you guys. Sometimes I'm the type of dude where you guys have to kick me out of here rather than me leaving on my own. But I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here and catch these fights. I don't know if I'll do some kind of podcast or not tomorrow. If I can think of something to talk about, then yeah, I'll hop on. Until then, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm gonna get ready to boogie on out of here. Wakanda forever. Deuces.